What's up, YouTube? What's up, world, man? I missed y'all. Been kind of busy, ain't been doing my videos like I should, but it's Mother's Day weekend, and I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Just in case I don't be able to drop a video tomorrow, I hope all of y'all have a happy Mother's Day. I always say that I'm not going to make the video too long, and I always end up going like an hour, because I feel like there are so many things that we need to talk about. So many things that we feel inside and we don't know how to get it across to members of the opposite sex. It's either our delivery is wrong, or from just a history of bad energy, it's hard to talk to one another, and communication always being the most important thing in a relationship, even if it's boyfriend, girlfriend, especially in marriage, especially in relationships where children are involved. Communication is everything. You cannot have nothing without communication. You can't have love without communication, because you wouldn't even know how to express yourself to the other person if you didn't know how to communicate. So many times we do find great ways to communicate to one another when it's a more physical, sexual part of the relationship. But when it comes to actual talking and actually being a compromise on what they feel like the problem is at hand and dealing with it. So sometimes when I talk to people, especially people that I have intellectual conversation with, I do ask them, I'm like, what are some things that you feel like I can talk about? You know what I'm saying? Because my whole purpose in this channel, which is so crazy because this is how life takes you in different directions. You might have a plan and you might have some things mapped out that you see, and it's always good to have a direction, because even if you have a direction and you're saying like, oh, I know this is going to be the specific thing that I do, even though sometimes that changes, the direction is still forward going and it's still a good direction. But generally, when I wanted to start Billion Dollar Club, I wanted to really talk about things on things that I dealt with in life experiences, how I became the person that I really am. And, I will tell you, like, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. We went through the struggles just like everybody else. And there were a lot of things in my childhood that I'm not happy with. If I could go back and change them, would I? Yes. But I am happy to the sense that I went through these things and they actually made me a better person, because now I can go back and look where I've been and where I am now. And, at the end of the day, that's what everybody has to do. They have to take a look at themselves and say, I used to be there. I don't care what your past is. You could have the worst past, but what really counts is who you are today. Who you was yesterday don't even matter, because once today comes along, it's now the past. And like I said, when I started Billion Dollar Club, I really wanted it to be a channel that is gonna put you in the sense of getting money and how to have legit hustles that can generate a good profit, and really the steps into the things that I have encountered in life, because I've had a number of businesses. I've always tried it, because I'm like, the worst thing that you can do or something can happen is that you tried it, it didn't exactly work with the plan that you had, but you have to be smart in business and you have to know how to come out of that not owing a whole bunch of people. And a lot of the times I started businesses where I didn't have to borrow money. I started it out of my pocket and I grew it. As I have money for my shea butter, it goes back into my shea butter. Or if I'm doing a product that has different components, the shea butter, the oils or whatever, I made lotions, I would always put part of it back into that. But then I started incorporating new things that was generating me profit faster. So literally I started from pennies and worked my way up to where, because we all have that mindset, and some of us use our mind a little bit more than others. And that's why we're the people who know how to do business and know what it takes to have a business. The only thing that you have to remember in the back of your mind is that when you're starting a business, it's all about what you want. It's all about you, because you go to work hard every day for people that makes their business successful. If you apply the same skills that they teach you when you're working these jobs into having your own business, something that you can start out of pocket, you can be your own boss in no time. You have to have that same drive and determination, but that's generally what my channel was supposed to be about. But I felt like before I could talk about things like that, there are so many things other than us getting in our own way that holds us back and keeps us from obtaining the things in life that we want. A successful life, a happy life, a financially free life. I can pay my bills. I don't have to work hard, and I can still go on trips with my family, and I can still do the things that I want to do. Because I still have a son that's in middle school. And when I tell you, this guy is so good at basketball, and I want to be there. I want to be able to attend, like with my middle son, he was a football guy. If they was playing at home, I'm there. People to tell you I'm not going to work if my son is playing. But sometimes on the away games, I can't leave and go out of town, because that's going to cost me money when I have to, but I always support their dreams. And that's something that I always look at. And me not being at a job for a while and going back to work, I'm like, I see why in the first place I started what I started. But I just feel like there's a lot of things in life that hold us back from success and living the life that we want to live. And, my first two videos was talking about toxic relationships. And then I got interrupted in the middle of that with somebody asking me a question about their rights on the job and how they're being treated on the job. And that is like a big no-no for me. That is like a big no-no for me, because I live to show people that I am not what you think I am. They look at me, and because I'm so outspoken, they mistake that for being ratchet. And where I do have the tendencies of being ratchet sometimes, because, every situation calls for a certain thing. But even in the moments that I want to be ratchet, I still know how to maintain and control the situation. Because if I be ratchet, something that you want me to be, and deep down inside, I feel like this instant calls for that. But at the same time, I do the opposite of the stereotype that you look for. And I just say it in the most nice, nastiest way that I can. And I incorporate a little bit of the law that I know that you're fucking breaking. And I just set it out there like that. Like, this is what it's going to be. And not that I think I'm cocky. It's just that I know my rights when I'm on the job. I know what within the law, what they can do and what they cannot do. And who wants to go to work and work in a hostile atmosphere, or wants to go to work and see 17 out of the 24 people that you don't like on a day-to-day basis? That makes you feel some type of way. But at the same time, it's all about energy, and sometimes your energy plays a big part. And there's a lot of things that we go through in life that keeps us from doing that. And I feel like those are things that I need to touch on first, because I feel like those are the most important things. Because as long as we let these things linger and we don't conquer the fact that we don't have good communication skills, and sometimes you have to stop and look yourself in the mirror and say, it's me. Because you can only blame people for so long for the things that's going on with you in your life and how your life is going in the direction that it's going in. Those people don't control that unless you allow them to have control over you. And the only way that you do is you hold on to grudges, like you're angry all the time and stuff like that. So you have to sit down and do a self check sometimes, because a lot of the times when we're blaming this person and that person and this person and that person, you have to realize that all of these people are different. None of them have the same personality. None of them have the same attitude. None of them have the same really nothing. But one thing that they do have in common is you, and you have to stop blaming everybody for everything, because those people have one thing in common. So sometimes we have to really sit back and self-check. But like I said, I do have people that I will ask, like, what do you think some topics that you want me to talk about? And, I do really just pick the ones that I feel like is going to benefit someone out there that's listening to my message, and is going to really allow them to be self-aware. Because when you become self-aware, you're able to have self-love, you're able to have self-esteem, you're able to have self-respect, because everything starts with self. So for as of now, my YouTube channel is just going to be about that, because there's so many things that so many people want to say. You might want to say something to your significant other right now, and you don't know how to tell them because you guys don't have good communication. But you have people that do YouTube videos like me that will speak on the situation and make them understand a little bit better, because a lot of the time people are more prone to listening to people that's outside of the relationship, because there's no good communication in the relationship. So, not that I'm going to be your voice of reason, because I'm only going to speak truth, and the women have to realize that I'm not going to take your side. I'm not going to sit here and make you seem like you're a great person if you're not. Because a lot of the times women can be toxic to themselves. We done been through a lot of shit in life, and because we're more emotional creatures, we tend to take the shit a little bit differently. And we dig holes for ourselves, and then we want to blame people because of the way that we are, when everybody has authority over their own life. So, one of the guys that's he's my Facebook friend, and very, very smart person. And, a lot of times they say you can't really tell who a person is by their Facebook posts. But he does a lot of personal posts. He don't post a whole lot of memes. A majority of it be like personal. I type this. So I respect what I do know of him. And every encounter has been a pleasant one. It's not one time that I feel weirded out or anything like that. And we literally have intellectual conversation. Very intellectual. So I asked him, I was like, what are some of the things that you feel the need in talking about? Like things that you think that people need to hear, because sometimes we do get into our own way and we want to blame everybody else, and we're actually the toxic ass person in the whole equation, and we need a self check. Because people have been checking you, and you have been checking them out of your life, and a lot of times we lose great people that way. So he threw a number of topics at me, but this one stuck out the most because it's 2019 and so much has been misconstrued. All of the values and traditions and morals and standards that used to be into play, that we growing up in my era was still pretty much forced to follow. And I mean, that's probably a good thing, because it kind of balances out what's going on today. But the one that I picked that he threw at me was the male and female role in the relationship. And And this could be a number of things, because are we talking about a relationship where the boyfriend lives over here and the girlfriend lives over here? Or are we talking about a relationship where the man and the woman lives together, but they're not married, they're just in a relationship? Or are we talking about a marriage? Are we talking about an engagement? Like, what type of relationship? Because there's different rules in all of those different things. It's like levels, you know what I mean? But I do feel like, even if you're a boyfriend and a girlfriend and you live over here and the girlfriend lives over here, there should still be a level of respect between the two, because I don't feel like you should really be giving it a title if you're not going to have some kind of respect, if you don't feel like there should be some lines that are drawn, even when it comes to women and stuff of the opposite sex. If you live over here and she live over there, you still shouldn't be going out on dates with other females or other males, because y'all don't live together. You chose to put a title on it. So I feel like if you're going to do that, then there shouldn't be a title. Live in relationships, so bad, because now the rules have changed and the level of what this person expects out of you is totally different. Because now that you live together, he expects for you after work to come home at a certain time. She expects for you to come home from work at a certain time. But at the end of the day, you always want to have that boundary where you better not come in after this time, or why didn't you come home after work? Because there should still be some type of time put to the side for you to be able to enjoy with your friends, or enjoy with, or him to enjoy with his friends. So with that being said, you need to let him go to the gym and play basketball with his boys, because I feel like if there's not a level of trust and respect there, then y'all shouldn't even be in a relationship, let alone living together. And as far as marriage is concerned, like, that's a whole nother level, because now you have joined together in matrimony in front of God, his parents, your cousins, his cousins, sisters and brothers. And that's a commitment. That's like you going to clock in for Mr. Bob, because it takes work. Because there's so many outside influences that can easily break up the union. But do y'all have a bond? Do y'all have trust? These are things that you signed up to have. Because in the end, you didn't even have to waste his time and he didn't have to waste yours. So when it comes to the different levels of relationships, there's different roles, I feel. You know, do I feel like women should do things for boyfriends that wives do for husbands? Literally, I do. And the only way that I do that is if this person is living up to the standards in which he wants to be treated. Like, I'm not going to just because I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a very vocal person. And even with the people that I date, I'm very vocal. And I will let them know, like, you know, don't come in here with your crown on if you're not really a king. You're a poser. Don't come in here posing. Because I'm a real life motherfucking queen, and like, I will do anything. If somebody is making me happy, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make this person happy. Especially if this person is not making me feel like, and trust and believe, not every woman has a jealous tendency. I'm going to put that out there 100. Every woman has a jealous tendency. Some are more vocal than others. Even if I'm vocal about it, I'm not vocal all the time. Because, is a man going to look? I mean, like, it's there. You know what I mean? Is a woman going to look? It's there. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to be with my guy that I say that I love and just be looking at another dude like, ooh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't even see another guy to where I have to be like, ooh, I try not to even focus in on the world. Not saying that I won't be in tune to do business with people and stuff like that. But, I know how to distinguish who's who. So your level of how you are treated when you're with me depends on who you are as a person and the person that you show me. You act like a king and you get treated like a king. And that's just that. So instead of me going through all of the levels and me trying to explain what I feel like the roles are, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I feel like kind of stands in the way of whether it's just him living over here and her living over there, them living together, a marriage, an engagement. These are all things right here that I feel like applies to all of them. Because like I say, if you're in a relationship and you chose to put a title on it, then that means that you signed up for some of these rules and what the others look for from you. So I'm going to start with men, but I'm going to touch on everything. I don't want people to think that I'm jumping on them, but this is solely my opinion. And this is just from me having non-mature relationships to being an adult and having mature relationships and understanding that everybody is not for me and I have to keep it pushing, you know? So, I noticed in a lot of relationships, whether it just be him living over here, her living over there, them living together, marriage, engagement, or whatever. Men today don't really want to be tied down because the women are a little different today. And men are used to a certain thing because now I notice that a lot of the people from my era either are trying to build a business or doing some kind of something of their own, and they're really building for the future. And when we were younger, we used to look at our parents and we used to be like, oh man, parents are so lame. But like I said in one of my other videos, when you're 5, you do 5-year-old shit. When you're 12, you do 12-year-old shit. 15, 16, 20, 25, 35, 45. You have to mature with age. You have to mature with age because you have to look at, and not that, like I'm old, but you have to look at where life is going, and not just because we live to die, but because we're leaving people behind. And at a certain age, that's when you really start looking at the overall picture, or you should be looking at the overall picture of your life and the direction that it's going in, especially if you have people that's depending on you. You have people that's looking up to you. You have people that you care about while you're here on earth. So you build to leave something behind for them. You don't want to be a liability when you're gone. You know? So today, a lot of the men that I encounter, they really want good relationships. They want good relationships. They want good girls that's all for them. Because if you show a man that you're all for them and that you will do anything for them, why they got somewhere where they going? Where they going if you're being everything that they need and we're capable of being everything that they need. But now they look for the good in women. These are my opinions. I feel like men do look for the good in women. But then women feel like when we look at men, okay, we might see a kind of street guy. And we might see a guy that I feel like, work and go home. He might go out on the weekends and shit and hang out because he's single. So, and then I look at, the guy who just goes home and don't do shit. Get on Facebook and be like, look, I'm bored as fuck. you know? And I feel like whenever guys encounter girls, unless they encounter you with you putting yourself out there in a way that they feel like they can approach you as a hoe. So whenever men encounter women, I feel like if they can have a decent conversation with them and stuff, they do look for the good in them. But you have to be consistent, or they will lose interest easily, because once they start to see the thoughtism and the hoism come out, and I'm not saying that you're a thought or a hoe, but if they see tendencies or what they feel like is tendencies, they'll easily withdraw because they're looking for a certain thing. But then sometimes when they get the woman that they're really truly looking for, you know, they already can do what they want to do with this girl over here. So then they come into the relationship with a real woman and they want to be the leader. They want to be the leader of the relationship. They want to take charge. And where a real woman does not have a problem with her man taking charge, but he has to live up to just that, being a man. You have to live up to being a man, being a leader, leading and showing this woman you got her. You got her kids. You got who's in the circle, because you know at the end of the day she got you. But you have you have to know the difference between the two. You can't go into every relationship beating your chest because you like, oh, I'm the man. Well, you have to do what a man do. And you know, I'm not really, I don't care what your pockets look like. I don't care what your pockets look like. Am I saying that you can be broke as shit looking to drive my car and stuff? No. No. There's women out there that will put up with that, and I'm going to leave you to them. But what I'm saying is you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have dope boy money. You can have a check that you work for and get paid for every 2 weeks. As long as I see you doing something, at least you're working and paying your bills. You might not have a whole bunch of money to take me out and shit like that, but guess what? We can find some other shit to do. I'll go on a walk on the waterfront. That don't cost shit. But there's levels of men, you know, just like there's levels of women. You know, you can't walk in the house and sit on the pedestal and be like, where my dinner and this and that. The only way I'm cooking for you, and you're talking to somebody who cooks a lot, is if I feel like you're worthy of it. Because do I really feel like, I feel like that shit that a wife does. But if I'm trying to be that, why not? And I'll do it until you show me that you don't deserve it. And that's why I say it all really depends on the man. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a leader, you have to be consistent with being a leader. You have to be consistent with being a leader. You can't want to be the man of the house one week, and then the next week, because y'all had a disagreement, she all kind of hoes and bitches and sluts and shit, and then you want to come back to being a leader and you want her to follow. Yes, even though she forgave you, she remembers that. If you know she a queen, you have to fucking take your time with her, and you have to treat her like a fucking queen. Stop letting these girls out here who don't mind being side pieces and shit control you. And the way that they control you is they willing to do anything that you want them to do without any kind of morals or standards. But one thing that you have to realize is that when her body wears out, and when you get tired of the same old, and you realize that you have a good girl over here, sometimes it ends up being too late because the good girl already finds out about all your bullshit. You have to be a leader, and that's not being a leader. There's a lot of good women out here that I know that will be willing to be that woman for you. But you have to realize that the women that you've dealt with actually have changed who you are as a man. Just like men change women. Especially when they doing all kind of shit, running the streets, sleeping with this one, sleeping with that one. They change women. And women fail to realize that they change men too. Because a lot of times men house their emotion unless they flip out. And that means they done housed it too much, you know? So, you know, I feel like men always want to be the leader, but you have to lead. You have to consistently be a leader. You have to be somebody that her children can look up to and take advice from and shit like that. Vice versa. Your children have to be able to look up to this woman and see the great things that this woman is doing. This woman ain't gonna do nothing but treat your children like their own. So it has to be a mutual level of respect. There has to be communication there, because without communication, how she know you the leader? How she know you willing to lead, that you're going to consistently be the man that she needs? That's what women look for. Consistency. They don't show it right off because they've been hurt before. They've given their loyalty and shit to the wrong person, and it's turned them into something that they don't want to be. They want somebody to come and save them. And I know that you don't want to clean up the shit of the last man, but we have to clean up the shit of the last woman. Because as hard as y'all try to be, I know I've seen the hurt in men before. I've had actual male friends that are just males that confide in me and tell me stuff. And women, y'all do these dudes wrong sometimes, man. Like I'll be like, damn. You know? So I feel like, you know, men, if you're going to play the leader, if you want the leader role, you have to be a leader. You know, the guys, men are going to be the people who we depend on. And I'm not talking about depend on financially or none of that. You know, it shouldn't really be that way. You know, because I'm the type of woman, I feel like, you know, shit, I'll come in the house and be like, hey, go get dressed. Put on something blue, you know what I'm saying? We get dressed. Where are we going? Don't worry about that. Let go. I will treat my man out on a date. And I will do all of the things that a man will do for a woman. Take him out to eat. Take him to the movies. Get a couple of drinks. And be like, hey, you know what dates stand for, right? No, I'm just joking. So, I'm going to keep it PG-13. But, you know, those are things that I will do for a man. But the only way that I do that is that he's being consistent and showing me that he can take charge and that he's the leader. That he's not a fucking what you call motherfuckers? You know, he's not a imposter. There we go. You know, so men, just, you have to be consistent with being leaders, because that's what women look for. We don't want you to clean up the last man's shit, but man, it's there. It's there, just like yours is there. You don't even realize it's there until you get into the relationship with her, and then you start treating her ass like Katrina, because you looking at it like, I'm gonna get her before she get me, because these women done did you wrong. Every time you done gave them loyalty, and every time you done gave them respect, and you know, shit, the shit work both ways. I get it. I mean, me personally, I need consistency, because as long as I'm getting consistency, you will get consistency. So, you know, that's my thing with men. I feel like, you know, they want to take the leader role even when they know they're going to fuck up, even when they know they're going to cheat, even when they know, you know, even if they don't cheat, you know, she don't like you taking her fucking car and staying out all day, all night with your homeboys, even though you do pay bills in the house. Still, don't take the car and be gone all night. And then your argument is, I pay bills in here too. But, you know, you have to spend some kind of time at the house, right? You know, shit like that. You know, they're broken. We don't want you to have to clean up the next man's shit, but it's there, my brother. Like, reassure them sometimes that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to worry about that no more. Because that's what they really want to, that's what they need to hear. That, I'm here, but, I can't pick up and take off with what Tyrone did to you. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to get over that. Talk to them and let them know you're gonna have to learn how to get over that in order for us to work. And trust me, if the woman really loves you, she is gonna step up and be like, "Oh man, he might be telling the truth," and she's gonna do whatever it takes to get rid of it. Especially if you're giving her nothing but a good energy that she can trust and believe what you say, because your actions are showing that. You can't say one thing and then do something else, because your actions are going to speak louder than words. You can tell a person you love them 100,000 times. But if you're not showing that you love them, they're not going to feel that. And then every time you say I love you, it's going to be bullshit. So if you want to be the leader, guys, like, step up to the plate and be the leader. But you have to be genuine. That's why I said in my last video, like, the truth. Tell them the truth. Because if you tell them the truth and all you want to do is have sex and stuff like that, and you tell them the truth and they catch feelings later, then it's not on you. Because eventually they will sit down and they will tell themselves, you know what? I knew what it was. Eventually, that's the only conclusion that person is going to come back to, is that I knew what it was and my ass got caught up. So, now that I spoke on that, I'm going to go to my women. So, in the relationship, it don't matter which level of the relationship. You over here, I'm over here. We together, we engaged, we married. Women always want to play the man role. Women, a lot of the times we mess it up for ourselves. We don't mess up a good thing because we want to play the man role. And a lot of the times that comes from women having to deal with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got kids and her and the kid's father didn't work out, even though they can co-parent. She's over here in her house with the kids now, so she has to do things in a certain way. So when a new man do come along, she's so used to doing shit a certain kind of way and having to be so independent, not only for herself but for the sake of her children, and coordinating what she got to do in a day, what they got to do in a day, making sure the homework done, blah blah blah. So being that she feels like she's an important factor in her surroundings, in her life, the man comes along and she's like, okay, well, I mean, what, you wanna be the man, but this is my house, and I'm. So a lot of times we mess that up for ourselves. A lot of times women be doing that shit and they don't even realize they're doing it because they're so used to doing it. And it's hard to explain to a man that you don't mean to be that way. It's just that you are so used to being that way. It's sort of like muscle memory. Don't care how tired you are when you go to work. You can have a whole bunch of energy one day and go into work and do your job. And then the next day you can be drained, tired, just not even feeling like it. But your body is going to continue to do the right thing because it's so used to doing that same thing. So, when women are used to being the man and the woman in the house, it's easy for her to always want to have the man role. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know my place in a good relationship. I'm going to allow my man to be himself because I know that he's going to allow me to be myself. But at the same time, not that I want to be the leader in the house. All I'm saying is if I have a difference of opinion, just listen to what I'm saying. Because then in return, I'm going to listen to what you're saying. And there's always going to be a compromise because I'm not the type of woman that's going to be like, no, it's my way or no way. You know, if I feel like it's something that's triggered to my character, if I feel like there's something that I just won't tolerate, that means it's going to change who I am as a person. And I am bold enough to tell you, like, look, you know, I think that we should call it quits now so that we can remain friends, because so many times we don't call it quits when we know that we should. And that's why you and your ex ends up being enemies. You ask people about their ex. Ask them, majority of the people in this freaking world, if you ask them something about their ex, it's nothing nice to say about them, because you knew that you should have 6 months ago split up and just call it quits, and if y'all sit down like adults and decide what's going to happen with the belongings and stuff in the house, because y'all built that together. 9 times out of 10, the men, if you have children and you can come to a compromise like that, the men are gonna let you just keep that shit because you have children, and now y'all can leave the relationship with respect for one another. But a lot of the times relationships don't end like that. It end with you hating the person because y'all know y'all should have let go a long time ago and you didn't, because nobody wants to listen. It's too many men in the house. It's men with the JJs and men with peens and all kind of stuff, you know. So, you know, if you have good communication, and I want to say this again, if you have good communication, then both parties or everybody in the house that consists of the household know their roles in the relationship. She knows that she's not behind you, but she's going to allow you to lead her. She's going to allow you to walk and be the man that you are, because she trusts and believes that you are him. And she gonna do what a queen is supposed to do. She gonna clear the motherfucking area because my king is coming through. But you can't run around calling yourself a king, and just because you got a king tattoo don't make you a damn king. You have to live up to that name, or you're not gonna ever get the respect that you deserve. And women, vice versa. Like, y'all run around, I'm a queen, and it is some queens out here. I know some queens, and they deserve the world. But real queens are caught up in a material world. Real queens are caught up in a world where whatever's trending, if you're not down with whatever's trending at the time, then you're not looked upon. I remember when models used to have to be skinny as hell. If you wasn't puke skinny, you could not be a model. And then some sisters came along and changed the game and was like, plus size, baby. Now, if you look on TV, they have made having a big booty and some big ass titties a trend. To where now you see, no disrespect to my Caucasian people, you see the Caucasian women out here doing squats and getting butt injections and shit like that, because society has made them feel like, okay, that was then, this is now, this is what's popular. If you don't have a big ass, men are not gonna like you. I'm totally fine with the little piece that I have, because I feel like it's so much more to me than that. I ain't even looking at that. But do I go in the store and try on jeans and see if it's cute on my butt? Yeah. Because I don't want to be looking like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, so, but, you know, back to, I just used all of those examples, you know, just to, and not to be on the woman's side, but a lot of the times that's just what it is, you know, because when parties split up, you have to understand the woman now has more responsibility. Not to say, because there's a lot of men out here today that will take on the responsibility of raising their children if they have to, you know. So really, what the roles are, what's a man's role and what's a woman's role, has to really be determined by the people that are in the relationship, because everybody's relationship is going to be different, because everybody is different and everybody expects different things out of their partners. And I feel like, your request shouldn't be unrealistic. I don't feel like you should be asking them to do things that's going to change who they are as a person, their genetic code, or anything like that. But spending time with me and loving me and trusting me and me trusting you and us having communication. I don't feel like those are things that I feel like is a lot to ask. Because I feel like you need all of those things to have a successful relationship. So when it comes to what the woman's role is and what the man's role is solely between the two people who are in that relationship, because they have to have a level of respect in their relationship, and only they can determine what that is, because they're two individual people that are trying to be together, and those two people are not like me and you. So it really just determines on what they come to as what the conclusion is going to be in their relationship. But I went into depth on those two things because those are things that I have just seen in my years and experiences in relationships. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sit here like I was a perfect person all the time. But, I never cheated. I never did anything like that. Like, I don't mess with households. I mean, you can flirt all you want to. Even if I know you're in a relationship and you're flirting with me, I will tell you, get out my face. Yeah, don't do that. Because I feel like if you're going to do that and you're in a relationship, you should leave that queen alone. Leave that bitch alone. She probably home being faithful to your ass. You never know. So, it's really solely on the couple, determine the couple, me personally, if I'm involved with somebody and I feel like they're walking with that crown, they're talking with that crown, they're being about who they say they are, honey, I will treat you just like the king that you are. Because in return, you're going to do the same thing with me. And then when you have two people that has a bond like that, that's so intertwined with each other that the outside don't even work, guess what? Their communication is going to be immaculate, because they're only going to be looking at how much love and respect that they have for one another. So even the things that they could be petty about and argue about, they're going to be able to talk about. So, the last thing that I want to touch on too, even though I talked about what I see in men, what I see in women, at the end of the day, they both have to want the same thing. Because a king and a queen sit on the throne together. A king and a queen, they sit on a throne together, side by side. And that's just the way that it should be. Like, I feel like if I'm with you, and I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. But if I decide to give it a title, and you be my boyfriend, and I be your girlfriend, or we get engaged, or we get married, your hopes and dreams are now my hopes and dreams. My hopes and dreams are now your hopes and dreams. And we're going to conquer this shit together. Because what you got going on, what I got going on, we put that shit together. How can you fail? How can you fail? You have to find somebody who's compatible with you. And that's why a lot of the times when people feel like I'm being harsh because I'm saying no, that I don't think that we're good together, or no, I don't want to give them my phone number and stuff like that, it's because I don't feel like we have nothing in common. And I don't want you to be sour when I say no, because I still want to, I feel like we can be cool. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm talking about relationship wise. Me seeing somebody that I can see myself with long term for life, stuff like that. I have to find something compatible. Like, I literally can talk to a person for 10 minutes, even through inbox, text message, or whatever over the phone in their face. I can talk to them for about 10 minutes and I can pretty much from there decide whether or not this person is any good for me. I can decide whether or not me and this person can spend a lifetime together. If me and this person can even go out on a date, whether me and you gonna even have another conversation. And I just feel like we all know. But what our tendencies is with this person makes a whole difference. Because I'm not just looking for sexual activity, I turned down a lot. And I don't know why guys and girls feel like if you tell a guy, oh, I can put this thing on you, that's not going to keep nobody there. You think you're the only one out here with a good cootie cat? Or you think you out here the only one with some good D? To me, you can have the best D in the world. But if I'm not feeling you, I have the ability of saying, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this because for me, becoming stigmatized or something like that takes a lot more than just good penis. Like, you have to be a good person and have a good head on your shoulder. You have to be the whole package for me to feel like you were the one that got away. It takes a lot more than just some good, because you deal with a lot of BS when it comes to a man who just got some good peen. Who wants that? I mean, people will take it, okay, because it's for the moment. Because no matter how good it is, it's still that one or two things that just aggravates this person about you. And you like, ugh, that will make you feel like, I'm so sorry, I'll call you right back. But, that'll make that person feel like, I'm just done with it. I don't even want it no more. Because once they start to lose that feeling for you, they ain't gonna want to sleep with you no way. Because the sex ain't gonna even be the same anyways. So it takes two people. If you put a title on it and you're in a relationship or you're engaged or anything, like, you have to put work into it. You have to put effort into it. And you have to start building goals and dreams with this person in order for them to feel like you're even marriage material. I feel like that starts in the beginning. The drive and ambition that you two can have together. And you have to find somebody who has the same drive and ambition as you. Because if you get somebody that doesn't, then you're going to feel like this person is holding you back. And you know that you shouldn't have even got with this person in the first place. But you did it. And now you don't wasted a year and a half when you probably would have found a person that you're actually compatible with. This person has to have not the same goals and dreams as you, but they have to have goals, dreams, ambition, and all of that in order for them to actually be somebody that I can see myself with for the rest of my life. And I just feel like, I'm going to continue to do the YouTube channel like this, and I want y'all to give me ideas. Give me stuff that y'all feel on y'all heart that y'all feel like we can talk about. Comment to these videos, like, share, subscribe, because a lot of the time there's people out there that are in relationships and they have hope and they have so much hope that things are going to change. But one thing that you have to realize is that you can't change nobody if they don't want to change. And you have to realize that sometimes you're the toxic person or you have a toxic person in your life. And you have to want to make the change. Because guess what? These people who are toxic in your life is going to be toxic long after you. Because those people don't change. They only change victims. I think I've said that before. You have to find somebody with goals, ambition, who has drives, who have moral, who have standards. If you're looking for a fairy tale ending, because I feel like they do exist. I see people every day. I see a couple that's been together since they've been in high school. And I'm like, gosh, Like, they still in love. You know what I mean? I see it. I see it. Like, the Tarzan, the latest Tarzan is one of my favorite movies because the love that he has for Jane. The love that he has for Jane, women will kill for her. He went and got her ass. He went and got her. He was like, oh, you took Jane? I'm about to tear all this down. You know? So, you know, I missed y'all. I probably will do a little mini video for Mother's Day tomorrow just to tell all the mothers Happy Mother's Day. That's if I get up on the right side of the bed and can roll out of bed on time to do the video, and because I really do care about y'all, and you know, I want us to do better. I want us to do better as a whole entire people. And when I say people, I'm talking about all races. I want us to do better. And most of all, and you know, I'm not ashamed to speak on my African American brothers and sisters because, we know the struggles that we go through. You know, a lot of people will hear the stuff that we say that we go through in a day, and they'll try to say that we're using slavery in order to live a certain way and shit like that. But what they fail to realize is this is an everyday struggle for us, and we're in it, so we feel it. You know, where they're getting better treatment and shit like that, they don't really feel the struggle, so they don't really believe that it exists. You know, but when I do these videos, like, I talk to y'all, majority is because we are looked at in a certain way. They look at us through their eyes and they see a certain people. And you know, a lot of the times, because they see that and we know that they see that, we live up to the stereotype that they hold us at. You know, they like, fuck it. You want me to be that way, then I'll be that way. When in all actuality, in order for us to get better as a people, as a race, we have to do the opposite of the stereotype. We have to become leaders in our own communities. We have to build our own communities up because we are so strong as a people. It's strength in numbers. And if you want to be treated with respect and shit like that, we have to demand it. And you know, my grandmother always said that if you don't have nothing left in life, you have your respect. But you have to give people something to respect. You have to stand on your own 2 feet and be like, no, I'm a man. I'm not doing that. Or nah, you know what I'm saying? You see the elderly in the communities need help, man, step up and help them. I promise you. I promise you, people. I can be the voice of reason. I am working on that. If I have to get up and speak out, that's what I have to do. I'll be the fucking Martin Luther King in this month, you know. But all I'm saying is like, we have to start doing stuff for ourselves. We have to start doing things for our communities. I have started an online petition. My online petition is at iPetition.com/buy-the-block-back. Buy the block back. And my whole narrative for this petition is my goal is 1,000 signatures. I really want to do more than 1,000 signatures, but my goal is 1,000 signatures. I want those 1,000 signatures so that I can show that not only do I believe, but my whole community believes that we need more positive influences. We are going to obligate ourselves to be those positive influences. But we do need recreational things in our neighborhoods in order for the children to have something to do, so that they don't get into all kind of mischief and trouble. In today's society, I feel like they take these things out of the black communities because they want us to live up to a stereotype. Though that's my opinion. And I'm pretty sure it's the opinion of a whole lot of other people. But when they take these things out of the community, It is our responsibility to put them back. It is our responsibility to these children, not just your own children, but to my children and to her children and to his children, because we're all hardworking people. And if we have positive influences in place in our communities when we're at work, where we don't have to worry about the well-being of our children, are they being influenced under the right like, we have to put these things back into our communities. In order for me to get a builder's permit, to do small minor, to get volunteers to do small minor repairs on the houses in our neighborhoods, put flowers out in the neighborhood, beautify our own neighborhoods, build up our own neighborhoods, make the people feel safe in our neighborhoods, I have to get a certain amount of signatures. Now, later on in the process, I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to take money, because there's a lot of elderly people that's living Social Security check to check, that have to go and get jobs and need to really be home sitting down somewhere because they're too old and they need to be enjoying life at some point in their life. But they can't because the cost of medicine is too high. Or they have to pay their mortgage and their light bill and their water bill. And that takes their whole check. So they don't have money to buy groceries and pay for medicine. I want to be able to do these things for them. I want to be able to put recreation centers in our neighborhoods. Put positive influences like Big Brother, Big Sister. Have a small builder's permit so that we can fix Miss Johnson's porch. So please go to iPetitions.com. When I upload this video to Facebook, I will put the link in the description. And please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, share, because eventually I'm going to be doing live broadcasts where I can Skype people in and we can have actual discussions. We can actually have debates or whatever. Because our whole goal is to get our point across. In my journey, I'm going to be trying to get people to come in and have meetings in the neighborhood and teach people about how important credit is. I had to learn the hard way. How important credit is, how important it is to have a good name, how important it is to know what's going on, to know your business, know about land if you own land, if you own your house, because these people will sneak in and take it right from under you. And before you realize that something is wrong, it's too late. It's nothing you can do about it. They will take it away from you. We are going to keep our people that's been in the neighborhoods for years and years and years. We're going to keep them there because they're really the bond that keeps those neighborhoods together. Buy back the block. Please help me in my journey in making our communities better, making the world a better place. Until my next video, I love y'all. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, add friends, because we have a message to our people and I'm trying to put it out there. Love one another. Until the next time, Queen out.